Welcome to the Meant to Bloom podcast, where we talk real life motherhood struggles and simple steps to a brighter, more abundant perspective. You can be a happy mom, and I'm here to walk with you on this journey to the life you're meant to be living, full of peace, joy, and love. I'm your host, Brittni Clarkson, and we are meant to bloom. Today, let me be honest, my kids are driving me nuts. So I'm choosing to step away from being in the same room as them for a little bit to come hang out with you. So let's record today's podcast episode that, I am not on top of the ball with anymore. Recording this totally in real time, like Wednesday afternoon to publish immediately after recording. Um, anyways, because, that's just me slowing down my life. If you've been listening, I've been stepping back from the whole like building a business and stepping into more of myself. The things that fulfill me, the things that keep my life running smoothly, just reprioritizing everything. And business is on the back burner, which means it's funny the way we use the term back burner. A lot of times we say, I'm putting on the back burner, meaning that like we're not going to deal with it right now. But honestly, if you're cooking on the back burner, you still have to monitor it. You're just not stirring nonstop for the stuff you put on the back burner, those are the things that you have to reach over your priority dishes to tend to, right? So I just, rearranged what's on my burners. Business, this podcast and everything, it's still here. Still working it, still doing it. I'm not quitting. I'm not backing off. I'm not going to stop. I'm just not letting it consume more of my time and energy than what I'm actually capable to give to it right now. So that's where we're at with that. Anyways, segue. Today I am back with more of my top book recommendations. I have about a dozen books that have really just shaped my healing journey. These are the books that healed my broken hot mess mom life. If you knew me 5 years ago, you knew a very broken, depressed, sad, lost, confused, overwhelmed, overly anxious person. A shell of a person, really. Like, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my purpose. I didn't know my passions. I was barely hanging on. My sanity was fading in and out. So deep in depression. Just the episodes kept coming like waves, and it was really hitting me really, really hard. And oh my gosh, we could talk about so many things. But these are some of the books that I have read cover to cover or listened to the audiobook. Sometimes listening is the only way I can get through a certain book. But these are the ones that really, like, I have gleaned so much wisdom from, and they have made an impact in one way or another incredibly on my life in creating the person I am today, who is a person who is very different than that person 5 years ago. I still get hit with depression, which is something kind of new that I'm rediscovering, is realizing that, like, I don't know that depression ever leaves you. I feel like it's like, there's like depressed sadness. And then I feel like there's like a mental condition of depression. Maybe it's an underlying condition and I just need to go talk to a professional to be re-diagnosed as something, like depression was a side effect of this or something. But there's so many symptoms of depression outside of sadness that I would really love to talk more on and discover more on and dive deeper into. Possibly coming up in this next month, we're coming into Mental Health Awareness Month in October. So maybe we'll dive into that in the podcast very soon. But I feel like just the brain patterns, like, I don't know. It's like depression's kind of always there. Like, it doesn't really go away, even though you can learn to be happy and you can get grounded in gratitude and you can start living a life where you believe in your self-worth and, you're not constantly catastrophizing every thought. But anyways, we'll talk more on that later. But these are the books that helped heal that broken hot mess mom life and turn me into the happy mom, the stable person, the person who has mental sanity to hang on to, a firm grip on mental sanity, let's say. that I am today. All right. So up first, I want to talk about one book that it is a classic. Yeah, it is a sort of classic. We had to read this in high school, and I didn't actually read it then, but I did read it in the last few years. And it is mind blowing that this book is written in 1989, and it is so accurate. Like, with all the mindset coaching that's happening right now, that seems like it's all new thought, but it was published in 1989 by Stephen R. Covey in, I probably said his name wrong, in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. If you have not read this book, it is, New York Times bestseller for how long? 30 years probably. I don't know. I didn't research that. I'm just guessing. But anyways, let me tell you, this book was unexpected. It was delightfully unexpected. So much more relatable than I anticipated it to be. This is Powerful Lessons in Personal Change. I thought 7 Habits of Highly Effective People was all about, like, I don't know, just being successful in the workplace. But there's so much relative to mental health recovery and parenting in here that I was not expecting to find. Okay, so I did want to kind of read to you just a little bit out of the book, not just straight up reading. Let me read you the back. Okay, a synopsis, what the book is about. In The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, author Stephen R. Covey presents a holistic, integrated, principle-centered approach to solving personal and professional problems. With penetrating insights and pointed anecdotes, Covey reveals a step-by-step pathway for living with fairness, integrity, honesty, and human dignity. Principles that give us the security to adapt to change and the wisdom and power to take advantage of the opportunities that change creates. This is such a book about mindset. At the time, in the late 80s, they didn't say, like, you need to change your mindset. They called it a paradigm. The paradigm was just this, like, it's like a mental map of how you perceive the world, right? It's your patterns in your mental patterns, your thought patterns, your action patterns. And it was all kind of about rewiring that, rewriting it, deciding to do things differently, deciding to show up differently, being more intentional with what you're doing. And it really is about becoming a leader in your own life in so many ways. And what I didn't expect was that in, like, the first chapter, like the very beginning, it goes straight into talking about a parenting struggle that Stephen and his wife were going through with one of their boys. Their kid was having these issues in school where he was socially immature and he was not doing well academically and he was not doing well in sports. Like, the kid was just not getting it, you know? And the parents just kept trying to encourage him, and they kept trying to look out for him to make sure no one was making fun of him. And in the end, what they kind of realized was that, let me just read you a few excerpts out of this, was that nothing we did seemed to help, and we were really worried. We could see the effect this was having on his self-esteem. We tried to be encouraging and helpful and positive, but after repeated failure, we finally drew back and tried to look at the situation on a different level. At this time in my professional role, I was involved in leadership development work with various clients throughout the country. Yada, yada, yada. So much more about what he's doing, talking about his work in leadership. But what they realized was that what they were doing, no matter how much... Okay, let me start here. As Sandra and I talked about the concepts I was teaching at IBM and about our own situation, we began to realize that what we were doing to help our son was not in harmony with the way we really saw him. When we honestly examined our deepest feelings, we realized that our perception was that he was basically inadequate, somehow behind. No matter how much we worked on our attitude and behavior, our efforts were ineffective because despite our actions and our words, what we really communicated to him was, you aren't capable, you have to be protected. We began to realize that if we wanted to change the situation, we first had to change ourselves. And to change ourselves effectively, we first had to change our perceptions. perceptions, mindsets. It begins off with this mindset work of like basically had to decide to stop seeing his kid as a failure, stop seeing his kid as inadequate. And at the time that I first like was going through and actually reading this, we were kind of going through the same thing with one of my kids. One of my kids was just not socially there. We tried to put him in sports and he was too like socially anxious to like get involved. And then when he got comfortable, he was too far behind. Um, and he was just emotionally having a really hard time. And it was really hard to go through that with him. And we ended up putting him in therapy and in talking with his therapist about what we wanted to get out of the situation and out of the treatments. There was a part of me that sort of realized I was seeing the parts of him that weren't, I was seeing him as inadequate as well. You know, even though I'm sitting there encouraging him, I wasn't, stepping into my leader role of seeing his potential and seeing, his current strengths. And so we'd been in therapy for over a year now and things are so different, but changing my perspective of how we were showing up in that situation, I'd love to talk about that more later on too. Especially because a lot of new things have developed in that area of therapy with my kid. And I am hesitant and excited to talk about it all at the same time. It's still a work in progress. It's still something that's in motion. But I highly, highly recommend reading The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It is going to change the way you look at your relationships with people. It's going to change the way you look at success. It's going to change the way, the way you really look at your day-to-day actions. All right. And I mean, just a quick run through the habits that you're going to talk about in this book. I mean, you could find this so easily online, but it's to be proactive. And I'm very much still about being proactive. You have to get up and you have to get started. Okay. A new life is not just going to happen for you. You have to do this yourself. You have to do the work. You have to start. Okay. Begin with the end in mind. Know where you're going. Be intentional. Okay. Put first things first. You have to have priorities in your life. You have to know what's important and you have to go in the right order of what's important to you. Okay. And we talk about paradigms of interdependence. This is a lot in your relationships with other people. To start thinking win-win. That's another habit, is to think win-win. Stop trying to win and make someone else lose. The only real like successful result is if everybody is able to win. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. We have to be good listeners. We have to be, pouring into ourselves in order to understand things before we're out there talking, trying to, be understood by others. Habit 6 is synergize. This is working together. Synergize, working together, teamwork. There's this famous old example of like one person can wash 5 dishes, another person can wash 5 dishes, but if these two work together, you can wash 15 dishes. So the whole concept is that working together, you really increase the output, And habit 7 is sharpen the saw. That is principles of balanced self-renewal, sharpen the saw. This is what we call today self-care. To sharpen the saw. It is what we call today self-care. And it is amazing how many of these principles, reading through this from a 2023 perspective, we just changed the words for things, but all the concepts of what's really important in order to be an effective person, in order to be a happy person, in order to be a successful person, in order to be a sane person, they're all the same. This is like the greatest self-coach yourself kind of book that I can really recommend. So that is that one. The next book on the list is one that really helped completely change the way that I show up when it comes to home care. How to Keep House While Drowning. by Casey Davis. The tagline on this one is a gentle approach to cleaning and organizing. This is one that I don't have the physical book for, um, because I listened to this on audiobook. And there's something about listening to someone talk about cleaning that motivates me to clean. So seriously, if you're having a hard time cleaning and, you know, you do really well to multitask listening and cleaning at the same time, get the audiobook for this. There's something about like, what is it? Kinesthetic movement and memory. So you retain more of it, retain more of the information you're hearing if you are moving when you hear it. Like your body and your mind work together to solidify memories. So let me read to you a little bit about this book, and why it's so wonderful. So I'm just going to read you the Amazon description to the book. So this revolutionary approach to cleaning and organizing helps free you from feeling ashamed and overwhelmed by a messy house. Sold right there, right? This has so influenced the way I talk about home care, the way I think about home care, the way I approach my own home care. This book here was highly influential in the creation of the Love Your Home course, where I help you go through your mindset around your home, really, and how you show up in it, and how you care for it, and how you think about it, and how you learn to love it. And most of that work is mindset work. It is heart work. It is journal work. It's choosing to see the good instead of focusing on the bad. A lot of gratitude work. But anyways, in this book, if you're struggling to stay on top of your to-do list, you probably have a good reason: anxiety, fatigue, depression, ADHD, or lack of support. For therapist Casey Davis, the birth of her second child triggered a stress mess cycle. The more behind she felt, the more motivated she was to start. Or the less motivated she was to start, sorry. The more behind she felt, the less motivated she was to start. Have you ever felt that? Like this paralysis when you have too much to do, so you'd rather just take a nap? Right there. She didn't fold a single piece of laundry for 7 months. One life-changing realization restored her sanity and the functionality of her home. You don't work for your home works for you. Let me say that again. You don't work for your home works for you. In other words, messiness is not a moral failing. This was big. A new sense of calm washed over her as she let go of the shame-based messaging that interpreted a pile of dirty laundry as "I can never keep up" and a chaotic kitchen as "I'm a bad mother." Instead, she looked at unwashed clothes and thought, "I am alive," and at stacks of dishes and thought, "I cooked my family dinner 3 nights in a row." Building on this foundation of self-compassion, Casey devised the powerful, practical approach that has exploded in popularity through her TikTok account at Domestic Blisters. The secret is to simplify your to-do list and to find creative workarounds that accommodate your limited time and energy. In this book, you'll learn exactly how to customize your cleaning strategy and rebuild your relationship with your home, including how to see chores as kindnesses to your future self, not as a reflection of your worth, how to start by setting priorities, how to stagger tasks so you won't procrastinate, how to clean in quick bursts within your existing daily routine, how to use creative shortcuts to transform a room from messy to functional. With Casey's help, your home will feel like a sanctuary again. It will become a place to rest, even when things aren't finished. You will move with ease, and peace and calm will edge out. You will move with ease, and peace and calm will edge out guilt, self-criticism, and endless checklists. They have no place here. Seriously, highly, highly recommend this book. Especially listening to it, her voice, and just the motivation and the kindness it offers. It's so beautiful. How to Keep House While Drowning. a gentle approach to cleaning and organizing. And if you've got a mental illness or disorder or disease, whatever it is, anxiety, fatigue, depression, ADHD, or a lack of support, it's going to totally blow your mind to change the way you think about yourself when you show up in your home. Okay, third book today, because we are getting long-winded here. The third book is by my girl Ali Kasaza, Declutter Like a Mother. And I have to admit, I didn't get a huge power-packed punch out of the book. I loved the book, but it didn't have this life-changing effect on me because I'd already taken her Your Uncluttered Home course. I'd already followed her for like 3 or 4 years when the book came out. She has actually been a personal, like, one-on-one mentor with me. I have had multiple meals with this woman. She is amazing. And I love her. So her book didn't quite have this, oh my gosh, new thoughts, life-changing moment for me, but I highly recommend her book. It is a great place to start if your home is overwhelming you. So I would seriously suggest Declutter Like a Mother and How to Keep House While Drowning if you are having any kind of stress about your home. Okay? These two books, especially together, because one is about the cleaning of it and the other is about the functionality, as in like decluttering and letting go of the things that are in your way and are not serving you. And I think the two complement each other so, so well. Like, it's a power duo. Declutter Like a Mother and How to Keep House While Drowning. Okay, but in Declutter Like a Mother, Ali Kasaza comes alongside you to explore why decluttering calms anxiety in your heart and lessens tension in your relationships, how to ensure your house is working for you, not against you, why kids thrive when they're not overwhelmed with options, how to make time when you feel you don't have time to declutter. Ali Kasaza was tired of feeling um, Allie was tired of feeling it was her against the laundry in her home. She wondered if somewhere beneath her frantic days and the mountains of toys in the playroom, she would ever find joy and peace in motherhood. Then she discovered the abundance of less. As she purged her home of excess stuff, Allie discovered a lifestyle that strengthened her marriage, saved her motherhood, and helped her develop her gifts in a way that no amount of new kitchen appliances or new organizing systems ever could. Research studies show a direct link between stress levels and the amount of physical possessions people have in their homes. And Allie has seen that truth play out in her own life and in the lives of hundreds of thousands of other moms she has mentored through her business and online courses. She proclaims, "You don't need a home that's perfect. You need a home that's lighter. Discover less stress, more space. Less chaos, more peace. Less of what doesn't matter, so you have room for what matters most to you." Decluttering my home led me into decluttering my calendar, into decluttering my life. And it's just this ruthless purging of what is unnecessary, what is in the way, what is tripping you up, what is keeping you in this cycle of shame and guilt and all those things. Seriously, seriously, I highly recommend these 3 books, and I put them all together for a purpose, for a reason. The last 3 books were all chosen specifically in tandem together, just like these 3 books together. And I'll probably have 2 more episodes to tell you about books, but I'll give you some time to get through these first. Yeah, I'm not an avid fast reader, but you could listen to these 3 books within a month. Audible's amazing. I really do love my Audible account. Sometimes just listening in the car, listening while I'm cleaning, listening in the shower is the only way I'm going to get through a book because I'm not going to take the time to sit down and read it. Right now, because I am going through this personal, purging of unnecessary tasks and recentering my life and refocusing my life, I am trying to make more time for reading now. And I have started rereading a whole new book that I can't wait to talk about once I'm done rereading it because it's been years. And that one's a work of fiction that was highly impactful to my life the first time I read it. So I'm excited to talk about that one in the future. But in the meantime, that was 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, How to Keep House While Drowning, and Declutter Like a Mother. Seriously, I will have them all linked below, or you can go to www.brittniclarkson.com/resources, and I will have all my top resources there. You'll be able to find my book list and all of those things. I love you so much, friend. Happy reading, happy listening, and I am so glad you're here. Take it easy, creating the life of peace and joy and love that you deserve. Hey, beautiful. Thanks for listening into this episode. I really hope that you've gleaned a lot of wisdom and gotten some great takeaways from this. Those 3 books, again, are going to be listed on my website, brittniclarkson.com/resources. But also, if we want to talk about another resource that's going to help you love your home, it is the Love Your Home course. I put this in the giveaway last week with Alicia Cohen Designs, the Ultimate Level Up Your Mom Life giveaway. And I was so excited to see 3 lucky winners getting into this course and digging in and getting excited and learning to love their home. There was so many goodies given away for that. But I wanted to extend this giveaway vibe, this feeling, and I wanted to offer a super sweet sale price into the course right now for $33. And I will tell you, current pricing is $99 for full price, and I'm going to give it to you for 1 payment of $33 instead of 3 payments of $33 like I usually offer. I just, more than anything, want to see people. I want to see moms just taking your life by the reins and learning to love your life, learning to love yourself, learning to love your home. Your home is so important. It is meant to serve you, not meant to be served. And setting it up in a way that functions for you, that helps you, approaching the way you show up in your home in a way that you love, a way that you're excited to be there, it can change your entire life. So, my Love Your Home course, let me tell you just a little bit about it. First up, if you're already sold on it, Level Up is the promo code. Click the link in the description, in the description, in the show notes below, and it will take you right to the checkout page that you need to be on. If you go to the sales page, because you need to go look at it a little bit more, that's fine. Just if you're on the sales page, make sure that you choose the pay in full option, not start for 33. Don't select the 33 for 3 months payment option. Select pay in full for $99 and then enter in the promo code to get $66 taken off. Promo code is Level Up. I've already seen some of you guys coming in on that, so I know that you guys are figuring it out, and I'm really excited to see you guys digging into this. But let me tell you a little bit. We're going to talk about gratitude and mindset. We're going to talk about the difference between messy and cluttered and a disgusting home. We're going to talk about, setting boundaries and a bare minimum. And we're going to talk about your rhythms and your patterns. We're going to talk about how you talk about your home. We're going to talk about how you talk about your home to your friends. We're going to talk about how you think about your home. We're going to set up your ideal day, talk about delegating. We're going to drop the guilt, let things be easy. There's my quick declutter guide as part of this. How to hate housework less. My signature room reset method, which is a way to come in and clean any room easily. We've talked about that here. When you're overwhelmed, where to start. Hot spots and home tours. We're talking about creating happy zones within your home, which is super helpful if your entire home is just an absolute train wreck and you feel stressed every single place. Creating one space where you can tap into your calm. Oh my gosh, it's going to help you show up and get done what you need to get done. We're going to talk about simplifying the kitchen. We're going to talk about what to do with too many toys. And my answer is not get rid of them all. I do have a toy library solution that I share with you guys here. My confident closet clean out method, how to get rid of clothes that do not serve you, do not fit you, do not fit your lifestyle, do not fit your body, how to get rid of those without feeling this intense anxiety of loss. And we're going to talk about some simple decoration tips because sometimes we make that way too overwhelming. And as a bonus, you get my monthly goals planning printable and everything about meal planning. I love you so much, and I really hope that if this is vibing with you, if any of that sounds like something for you, $33. Enter the promo code Level Up at checkout, and you can get the entire course. I think there's over an hour and a half or something of lessons in it. There's 18 lessons, I think. It's a full size course. And you can get the whole thing for $33. And again, I will tell you that full price was at one time $188 until I had this um, a meltdown about the economics and the what is it called? The inflation. I got really mad at inflation and I lowered my price to $99 for total price. That was my original launch price, $99. That's your current full-time price right now. Use the promo code level up and you can get the whole thing for one payment of $33. It's worth the risk, right? Okay, friend, I love you so much. Thanks for being here.